All right, you just saw him, and now he's here to talk. I'm talking about meteorologist Daniel McDonald. I hope they're going to show you here in just a second. There we go. Now we got you. We're all here, and we're ready for the forecast.
Yes, I was getting ahead of myself there on that story here by jumping over. I'm just so excited to deliver the news, the changes that are in the forecast here today, because we are going to see some changes by later on this afternoon. Starting off, however, things are pretty similar to yesterday. We are in the 60s across the region, actually a little bit warmer right now here in Memphis at 67. 63 was that low temperature yesterday, and just to put into perspective, 68 is the typical high temperature we see on March the 27th. So this is where we bottom out, pretty close to where we usually see maximum temperatures on this date. However, it doesn't look like we're going to warm up all that much further here as clouds are going to be increasing. We are seeing an increase right now. Again, our East Memphis camera with southwest winds at around 9 miles per hour. A breezy day in store here, but winds are going to be shifting to the opposite direction, the north and northwest at 18 miles per hour, gusting up to around 35, even 40 possible in some locations. We're going to have those temperatures here as a result be cooler by the afternoon. We'll probably reach the peak highs here just around or maybe before noon before we do start to see temperatures slide down. We'll be in the 50s, I think, by this evening around sunset with some rainfall looking to make its way back into the forecast. Overnight, we're going to be down in the 40s as we do see that cold air filter on in and give us at least a little bit of a cooler weekend for the first half at least. But we'll take a look at those current weather alerts. This is just like yesterday where we did have a wind advisory in place for only Mississippi County and Arkansas and the surrounding regions just outside of our viewing area in the Missouri Boot Heel and in the Jonesboro region. But like yesterday, it's going to contain sustained winds up to 25 miles per hour, gusting up to around 40 in some spots. It's just that instead of that wind warming us up, it's going to be cooling us down, and we're going to see a sort of similar, again, intensity of that wind. As of right now, we are starting to see in our northern regions, our northern communities, those gusts becoming more apparent. 26, the most recent reading in Covington, 22 in Truman. And you can see that color gradient, those orange and reds indicating the stronger winds that are out ahead here and going to be soon moving on down into the area, calmer in the rest of the region, but it does seem we will manage to have some of those winds impact the rest of the area here by later on into, again, mostly this afternoon, but a few of us already this morning seeing the impacts. Clouds are going to increase here as we do see some showers alongside this cold front moving on through. I am confident it's just going to be showers here. Thunderstorms were observed with this same line last night in parts of the upper Midwest near the Great Lakes region. Those have since weakened considerably, though they'll maintain just enough strength here to hold on to some rain amounts as it does move here into the Mid-South region. Hour by hour, I think we are going to see the showers here or a few isolated little sprinkles by around noon as we do reach the peak of those temperatures, at least here in the Memphis area and some of our more populated regions. And as we head towards later on into this afternoon and tonight, that is probably when we're going to see the rainfall become a little more widespread, relatively speaking. Things are not going to be very heavy. Again, no thunderstorms. I think the longest sort of downpour we might see out of this would last about 15 to 30 minutes. So it is going to be a bit wet here heading into later on this afternoon and evening. But aside from packing a rain jacket and maybe an umbrella, if we do plan on spending a lot of time outdoors, I don't think we're going to really need to make any hard adjustments here to our plans. Just maybe wanting to sit in the car or find a little bit of some shade to wait out just a little bit of some lighter rain that won't really be amounting to very much at all. As we can see on our rainfall totals, about 1/10 of an inch here, maybe a little more than that off to the northwest there near the Truman area, Jonesboro. But the rest of us just going to see, again, some very light rain, cloudier skies, and cooler conditions. Now, as we head into next week, though, this is between now and next Thursday, it does seem that we are going to have more rainfall across the region. I think that pattern is going to shift a little bit as we do get into the month of April and sort of ring true with the saying, April showers. We'll see about May flowers, but definitely looking like we'll have some wetter conditions compared to what has been a pretty dry second half for the month of March. We did have quite a few rounds of severe weather and thunderstorms in the first half, but things have been relatively quiet since then. Hopefully we do get more rain, though, maybe in the form, again, hopefully of just some showers as opposed to severe weather. It is needed because of dry conditions still ongoing, but I think towards the middle to end part of this week, we will manage to end up seeing something of that sort. So for today, 72 degrees is what we're expecting. A chance of a shower here as winds are out of the north at 18 miles per hour. About as gusty as yesterday. It's just that this time they're out of the north and it's cooling us down rather than warming us up to those near record highs we saw yesterday. I say near because we didn't end up tying that record. We did fall a little bit short here in Memphis and in many other areas, but still a very warm March the 26th yesterday and a very cold night ahead on March the 27th. I guess more so into March the 28th on Saturday is when we'll see this low temperature at 40 degrees in Memphis. Rain chance still relatively low, maybe a few lingering sprinkles before midnight, but Saturday itself, we should be totally dry across the area. Plenty of sunshine, a little on the cooler side. Again, we usually see those temperatures in the upper 60s for highs. We'll be below that. Overnight, though, I think we are at least a little warmer in the middle 40s. And then by Sunday, it looks like we are making a full recovery here back into the 70s. Sunday night, around 60. And then next week, we're going to be back in the 80s. I don't think we're going to be as high as the middle 80s for those shots at making record highs, especially since April is usually a little bit warmer than March. But we are going to have enough warmth and enough humidity, I think, to give us some more widespread rain chances those next several days. We'll be watching for maybe a few chances of thunderstorms, but at the moment, still no sign of severe weather anytime soon.